you hear anything out of yours? I can't hear.
I can't hear a lick.
You should probably
Turn
turn
your
the volume
volume
up.
Should be.
Yo.
Testing. Hello.
There we
Testing.
go.
Testing. Hello.
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 Hello, hello, hello.
Aloha.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you something that you are, first of all, listening to WSCA LP Portsmouth. That is community radio, okay? That's what we are doing. Radio for our community because we have love and devotion to human beings that are surrounding us, okay? Now, I want to introduce you to my dear friend, Rum Jerry. Everybody, it's really nice to be here at the WSCA studios once again with me shipmates here, and we'll go around the room once again and introduce all you over at the right gunnels. We have Moxie Mike,
Gunnerman at your service.
and at the Crow's Nest we have Tequila Timmy. Hello.
Please help, I'm scared of heights.
At the helm, at the steering wheel here, we've got our dear friend, until we picks her own better name, she goes by the moniker of Dishwasher Fluid Diane. Welcome to that.
Oh, thank you.
And over at the poop deck, we have our dear friend Zinfandel Jane. Oh, thank you, sir.
deserve
Thank
a
you so much
promotion.
for those grilled cheeses.
Chef's
Thank you
coming
so much.
from the galley with
Thank
the
you so much.
sandwiches
The
now.
chef's coming from the galley with some fresh grilled cheeses. And make sure you don't put too much deck rats in there this time, Cookie.
Some nice barnacle burgers.
Oh, Daisy Wine Wyatt, you keep your little bulwarks secured. All right.
Good morning, everybody.
All right, hold on
Not
now.
the morning anymore.
We want to do this here. And we're going to turn ourselves on now. Hold on, yeah, we got a bass there. And just check out that auto mark there, Mr. Cowboy.
Oh, I'm trying to remember the score for this. I
Oh,
know
yeah.
you gave me a food score.
Oh, yeah.
I'm all the way up in my mic, and I can't really hear myself, Ben.
Well, turn that thing up then.
Well, it's just going in circles.
There we go.
I tell you, honey, you ever try and run an
Testing.
HR
Hello?
department on a pirate
Hello?
ship? You have two options for disciplinary methods. You can either give somebody nothing at all and let them go scot-free, or knee haul them. What are you going to do about that? Oh.
This was the issue last time, too.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Whoa, what was that?
Go ahead and check.
That was my parrot, sorry.
Test, test, test. You can hear me? Test. Maybe it's just my ears.
You're audible.
All right, now. Come on.
All right, the bells and whistles are being distributed.
Yes.
Dishwasher fluid.
Put your plan headband on. Rolling through the flowers. You're gonna end up at the bottom of the White Rabbit's house.
I'm writing you out of my will.
Put your plan wild hairband on.
I'm making you walk the plank.
Oh, you'll never make me walk nothing. There was no planks. You just throw them overboard. What's your plan? Plan! Headband! Put it out! Now take it off. Rolling through the flower! All right now, me shipmates. We're going into uncharted waters now. You can see that mist on the horizon. It's turning into shapes of skulls and clocks and cards and perhaps a rabbit or two. I just want to make something absolutely clear before we begin. That a dormouse is not a mouse that hangs around doors, you know. It's a mouse that's dormant. It's not a mouse at all. It's a rodent that's dormant for most of the year, which is why they call it a dormouse. They're also adorable. In case you haven't caught the whiff, we're gonna present to you now something that we've been plundering for quite some time now, and we're gonna sort through the booty until we've separated out all the way from the card. I now present to you none other than Alice's Adventures in Wonderland.
Anon to sudden silence one, and fancy to pursue, the dream child moving through a land of wonders wild and new, in friendly chat with bird and beast, and half believe it true. Alice was beginning to get very tired of sitting by her sister on the bank, and of having nothing to do. Once or twice she had peeped into the book her sister was reading, but it had no pictures or conversations in it.
And what use is a book without pictures or conversations? Would the pleasure of making a daisy chain be worth getting up and picking up the daisies? Oh! A white rabbit with pink eyes!
Oh dear! Oh gosh, I'll be too late!
I've never seen a rabbit with a watch before, or a waistcoat pocket to take it out of, for that matter. Oh, he went down a rabbit hole under the hedge. I'm going down after it. Oh, a tunnel. Dipping down now. Oh, I'm falling. Oh, this is either a very deep well or I'm falling very slowly. I wonder what's going to happen next. Too dark to see anything. Wait. There are cupboards and bookshelves. A jar. Orange marmalade. Well, I shouldn't drop it as I might kill someone underneath. I'll just put it on one of these shelves as I fall by. Well, after a fall like this, I'll think nothing of tumbling down the stairs. How brave they'll all think of me at home. Why, I wouldn't say anything about it, even if I fell off the top of the house. I guess that's probably true anyway. Down, down, down. I must be getting somewhere near the center of the earth. Let me see. That would be 4,000 miles down, I think. Yes, that's about the right distance. But I wonder what latitude or longitude I've got to. I wonder if I'm falling right through the earth. How funny it'll seem to come out among the people that walk with their heads downwards. The antipathies, I think, but I shall have to ask them what the name of this country is, you know. Excuse me, ma'am. Is this New Zealand or Australia? And what an ignorant little girl she'll think I am for asking. No, it'll never do to ask. Perhaps I'll see it written somewhere. Down, down, down. Dinah will miss me very much tonight, I should think. I hope they'll remember her saucer of milk at tea time. Dinah, my dear, I wish you were here with me. There are no mice in the air, I'm afraid, but you might catch a bat, and that's very much like a mouse, you know. But do cats eat bats, I wonder? Do cats eat bats? Do cats eat bats? Do bats eat cats? I suppose I can't answer either question, so it doesn't much matter which way I put it. Now, Dinah, tell me the truth. Did you ever eat a bat? Whoa! I fell in a pile of leaves, and I'm not a bit hurt. Another long passage. And there's the white rabbit.
Oh, my ears and whiskers, how late it's getting!
He turned a corner. It's a hall of doorways. Must be hundreds of them. All locked. How am I ever took it out again? Oh, a glass table. A tiny key. I wonder if it works on one of these doors. No, much too small. A low curtain. Hadn't noticed that before. There's a little door behind. The key fits. Why, it's the loveliest garden you ever saw, but I can't even fit my head through this doorway. And even if I could, it wouldn't be much use without my shoulders. Wish I could shut up like a telescope. I think I could if I only knew how to begin. Hey, it's a little bottle. I'm sure it wasn't here before. Drink me. Well, I'm not in a hurry to do that. No, I'll look first and see if it's marked poison or not. If you drink much from a bottle marked poison, it is almost certain to disagree with you sooner or later. Not marked poison. Smells very nice. Cherry tart. Custard. Pineapple. Roast turkey. Toffee. Hot buttered toast. What a curious feeling. It must be shutting up like a telescope. Now I must be 10 inches tall. Just the right size to get through that little door. Oh no! I've forgotten a little key. It's still up on the glass table. Maybe I can climb up a leg. It's too slippery. Oh dear. Come on. There's no use on crying like that. I advise you to leave this minute. I generally give myself very good advice, though I seldom follow it. A little glass box, just lying here on the floor. A little cake. Eat me. Well, I'll eat it. And if it makes me grow larger, I can reach the key. And if it makes me grow smaller, I can creep under the door. So either way, I'll get into the garden. And I don't care which happens. Curiouser and curiouser. Now I'm opening out like the largest telescope that ever was. Goodbye, feet. Oh, my poor little feet. I wonder who will put on your shoes and stockings for you now. I'm sure I won't be able. I'll be much too far away to trouble myself about you. You must manage the best way you can. But I really should be kind to them, or perhaps they won't walk the way I want them to go. Let me see. I'll give them a new pair of boots every Christmas. Oh dear, what nonsense I'm talking. Oh, my head! Why, I've struck it against the roof. I must be more than 9 feet high. The key! Oh, it worked! But oh dear, now I'm too big. Why, it's all I can do to look through into the garden with one eye. It's more hopeless than ever. You ought to be ashamed of yourself, a great girl like you, to go on crying this way. Stop this moment, I tell you. There's that white rabbit. What a pretty little fan he's carrying. And those kid gloves.
Oh, the Duchess! The Duchess! Oh, won't she be savage if I've kept her waiting?
If you please, sir.
Blah!
Oh, but you've dropped your fan and gloves. It is hot in here. I'll just use this tiny fan. I'm sure you won't mind. Dear. Oh, how queer everything is today. And yesterday, things went on just as usual. I wonder if I've been changed in the night. Let me think. Was I the same when I got up this morning? I almost think I can remember feeling a little different. But if I'm not the same, the next question is, who in the world am I? Ah, that's the great puzzle. Let me see if I know all the things I used to know. Let me see. 4 times 5 is 12. And 4 times 6 is 13. And 4 times 7 is... Oh dear! I shall never get to 20 at that rate. Let's try geography. London is the capital of Paris, and Paris is the capital of Rome. Rome? No, that's all wrong. I'm certain. I'll try and say, how doth the little crocodile improve his shining tail, and pour the waters of the Nile on every golden scale? How cheerfully he seems to grin, how neatly spread his claws, and welcomes little fishes with tiny smiling jaws. I'm sure those are not the right words. I'm so very tired of being all alone here. Oh, I put on one of the rabbit's gloves while I was talking. How can I have done that? I must be growing small again. I'm shrinking. It's this fan. Dropped it in time to save myself from going out like a candle. That was a narrow escape, and now from the garden. Oh no! The little door's shut again, and the little key is still lying on the glass table up there. Oh, things are worse than ever. I wish I was never this small before. Whoa! I must have fallen in the pool of tears I wept when I was 9 feet high. I wish I hadn't cried so much. I'll be punished for it now, I suppose, by drowning in my own tears. That would be a queer thing to be sure. However, everything is queer today. What's that? It must be a walrus or a hippopotamus. Oh, it's a mouse. He must have slipped into the pool like me. Oh, mouse, do you know the way out of this pool? I'm very tired of swimming. Oh, mouse, this must be the right way to address a mouse. Perhaps Perhaps it doesn't understand English. I dare say it's a French mouse. Oui, Machette? Oh, I beg your pardon. I forgot you didn't like cats.
Not like cats? Would you like cats if you were me?
Well, perhaps not. Don't be angry about it. I wish you could meet our cat Dinah. I'm sure you would take a fancy to cats if you could only see her. She's such a dear, quiet thing. She sits purring so nicely by the fire, licking her paws and washing her face, and she's amazing at catching mice. Oh, I beg your pardon.
Oh, you.
We won't talk about her anymore if you'd rather not.
We indeed. As if I would talk on such a subject. Our family always hated cats. Nasty, low, vulgar things. Don't let me hear the name again.
I won't, sorry. Do you like dogs? There's such a nice little dog near our house. I'd like to show you. A little bright-eyed terrier, you know, with oh, such long, curly, brown hair. And it'll fetch things when you throw them. And it'll sit up and beg for its dinner. All sorts of things. I can't remember half of them. And it belongs to a farmer, you know. And he says it's so useful. He says it kills all the rats and... Oh, dear, I'm afraid I've offended it again. Mouse, dear, do come back again. And we won't talk about cats or dogs either, if you don't like them.
Let us get back to the shore, and then I'll tell you my history, and you'll understand why it is I hate cats and dogs.
Yes, it's high time to go. The pool is getting quite crowded with birds. Oh, there's a dodo.
Yes, hello, little girl.
And a duck. And an eagle. And a parrot. Hello, Miss Parrot.
I say, I believe the first thing we should all do is swim to the shore. What?
Perhaps we should start a fire and we can all get warm and dry off.
Ridiculous.
Why is this ridiculous, Miss Parrot?
I am older than you and must know better.
How old are you?
How dare you ask me that question?
Sit down, all of you, and listen to me. I'll make you dry soon enough.
All right.
Are you all ready? This is the driest thing I know. Silence all around. Silence.
Okay.
William the Conqueror, whose cause was favored by the Pope, was soon submitted to by the English, who wanted leaders, and had been of late much accustomed to usurpation and conquest. Edwin and Morcar, the Earls of Mercia and Northumbria... I beg your pardon. Did you speak?
Oh, no, not I.
Oh, I thought you did. I proceed. Where was I? Ah, yes. Edwin and Morcar, the Earls of Mercia and Northumbria, declared for him and even Stigand, the patriotic Archbishop of Canterbury, found it advisable...
Found it what?
Found it, of course. Of course you know what it means.
Well, I know what it means well enough. When I find a thing, it's generally a frog or a worm. The question is, what did this Archbishop find?
As I was saying, the Archbishop of Canterbury found it advisable to go with Edgar Atheling to meet William and offer him the crown. William's conduct at first was moderate, but the insolence of his Normans... How are you getting on now, my dear?
As wet as ever. It doesn't seem to dry me at all.
In that case, I move that the meeting adjourn for the immediate adoption of more energetic measures.
Oh, bro, speak English. I don't know the meaning of half his long words, and what's more, I don't believe you do either.
What I was going to say was that the best thing to get us dry would be a caucus race.
What is a caucus race?
Why, the best way to explain it is to do it. Now, first, we mark out the race course in a sort of circle. Of course, the exact shape doesn't matter. Go on now, everyone. Right. Oh, good. Now, you over there. You fill in that space there. Yeah. Good. Good. Now, all of you are in your places. Now we will go. Ready? 1, 2, 3, and away!
What is going on? I don't want to be an elected official. Oh. Goodness. What is happening?
All right. The race is over.
But who won?
Yes, who is the winner?
Yeah, who won? Everybody has won, and all must have prizes.
Well, all right, but who's to give the prizes?
Yes, who will give the prizes?
Prizes!
Why, she, of course.
You mean me?
Prizes!
Come on!
Well, let's see. I have this box of mints. Okay, one for you. And for you. Slow down now. And one for you. And you. And you. There. Exactly one for everyone.
But she must have a prize herself, you know.
Of course. What else do you have in your pocket?
Only a thimble.
Well, hand it over here. Now, we beg your acceptance of this elegant thimble.
Hooray! All right!
Oh, thank you all. I do wish Dinah were here to see this.
And who is Dinah, if I might venture to ask the question?
Dinah's our cat. And she's such a capital one for catching mice. You wouldn't believe it. And oh, I wish you could see her after the birds. Why, she'll eat a little bird as soon as look at it.
I really must be getting home. The night air does not suit my throat. Oh.
I wish I hadn't mentioned Dinah. Nobody seems to like her down here, but I'm sure she's the best cat in the world. Oh, my dear Dinah. I wonder if I'll ever see her again.
And this is brought to you by Melt Meal, the meal that melts. Yes, just a few minutes in a conventional oven, microwave, or clothes dryer, and Melt Meal melts into an edible puddle. Spoon it, suck it with a straw. You gotta mop it up somehow. Use your beard. Melt Meal, the meal that melts. Brought to you by Rocket Co. And now, back to Alice in Wonderland and the appearance of the White Rabbit.
The White Rabbit!
Oh, the Duchess! The Duchess! Oh, my dear paws! Oh, my fur and whiskers! She'll get me executed as sure as ferrets are ferrets! Where could I have dropped them, I wonder?
You mean your fan and kid gloves?
Mary Ann, what are you doing here? Run home this instant and fetch me a pair of gloves and a fan, quick! Now run!
Oh, yes, sir. He took me for his maid. He'll be surprised when he finds out who I am. But I'd better take him his fan and gloves, and that is if I can find them. Oh, it's a house. W. Rabbit. This must be it. How queer it seems to be doing errands for a rabbit. I suppose Dinah will be sending me on errands next. This must be his room. Ah, here we are. A fan. And here, there's some gloves. Better get back. Wait, what's this? A little bottle. No label this time. Well, I know something interesting is sure to happen. I'll just see what this bottle does. I hope it makes me grow large again. I'm tired of being so tiny. Oh, I wish I hadn't drunk so much. I can't get out of the door. My foot's up the chimney, my arm's out the window. It's much nicer at home when I wasn't getting bigger and smaller all the time and being ordered around by mice and rabbits. I almost wish I hadn't gone down that rabbit hole. There ought to be a book written about me when I grow up. I'll write one, but I'm grown up now. At least there's no room to grow up anymore here. But then, will I never get any older? That'll be a comfort in a way, never to have been an old woman. But then, always to have lessons to learn. I wouldn't like that. Oh, I'm being silly. How can you learn lessons here? Why, there's hardly room for me, and none at all for lesson books.
Marianne! Marianne! Fetch me my gloves this instant! Blah! Pat! Pat! Where are you?
Here I am, Your Honor. I was digging for apples.
Digging for apples, indeed. Here, come and help me.
Oh, of course, Your Honor.
Now, tell me, Pat. Up there.
Yeah.
What's that in the window?
Well, Your Honor, it looks like an arm.
An arm? You goose, who ever saw one that size? Well, it fills the whole window.
Well, sure it does, Your Honor, but, it's an arm for all that.
Well, it's got no business being there at any rate. Go and take it away.
Take it away. I don't like it, sir. At all.
Do as I tell you, coward.
I wonder what they'll do next. As for pulling me out of the window, I only wish they could. I'm sure I don't want to stay here any longer.
Where's the other ladder? Pat, where's the other ladder?
Sorry, I only brought one. Bill's got the other.
Bill, fetch it here, lad.
Put him up the corner, Bill. Now, try him and get it first. They don't reach halfway enough yet.
Oh, they'll do well enough. Don't be particular.
Now, who's going down the chimney?
Nay, I shan't. I'm a proper lady. You do it.
Well, I'm a proper man, so I won't.
Bill's to go down.
Here, Bill. Master says you're going down the chimney.
So Bill's got to come down the chimney, has he? These seem to put everything on Bill. I wouldn't be in Bill's place for anything. This fireplace is narrow, to be sure, but I think I can kick a little. That must be Bill. Sorry, Bill, yeah.
There goes Bill! You there by the hedge! Catch him!
Hold up his head now! Hold up his head! Brandy man!
Don't choke him.
What was it, old fellow? What happened to you? Quick, cough it up. Tell us about it.
Well, I hardly know. No, well, thank you. I'm better now.
Come on.
But I'm a deal too flustered to tell you. All I know is something comes up at me like a jack-in-the-box, and up I goes like a skyrocket. So you did, old fellow.
Yes, so you did.
Like a skyrocket.
We must burn the house down!
Capital idea.
Nothing else to do, really.
If you do, I'll set Dinah on you. I wonder what they'll do next. If they had any sense, they'd take this roof off.
A barrel full will do to begin with.
A barrel full of what?
Oh, good one. Throw this one.
Oh, I'll put a stop to this. You better not do that again. The pebbles are turning into cakes. If I eat one, it's sure to make some change in my size. As if it can't possibly make me any larger, it must make me smaller, I suppose. Ah, that's better. Much better. And more, I'll be small enough to get through the door. There. Oh, hello, everyone. Mr. Dodo, Miss Parrot, and, that must be poor Bill. I wouldn't have guessed you were a lizard.
Good day, miss.
Well, don't just stand there. Detain that girl!
Ah! Get her! Get her! Get her!
I think I've lost them. The first thing I've got to do is grow to my right size again. It must only be a few inches tall now, and the second thing is to find my way into that lovely garden. I think that will be the best plan. Oh! Why, it's just a little puppy. Not so little to me, I suppose. Well, I suppose he just wants to play. No bites, please. I'd better escape before he eats me up. Poor little thing, I expect he's hungry. And what a dear little puppy it was. I should have liked teaching it tricks. If I had only been the right size to do it. Oh dear, I'd nearly forgotten that I've got to grow again. Let me see. How is it to be managed, I suppose? I ought to eat or drink something or other. But the great question is what? A giant flower. A huge blade of grass. Doesn't seem right. A mushroom. And it's just about the same height as me. Should I eat the stem underneath? Or the sides? I wonder what it looks like on top. Why, a blue caterpillar. I didn't know they could sit up on their arms folded like that. And he's smoking a hookah.
Who are you?
I hardly know, sir. Just as present, at least, I knew who I was when I got up this morning, but I think I must have changed several times since then.
What do you mean by that? Explain yourself.
I can't explain myself, I'm afraid, sir, because I'm not myself, you see.
As a matter of fact, I don't see.
I'm afraid I can't put it any more clearly, for I can't understand it myself to begin with, and being so many different sizes in a day is very confusing.
It isn't.
Well, perhaps you haven't found it so, but when you have to turn into a chrysalis, you will someday, and then after that turn into a butterfly. I should think you'll feel a little queer, won't you?
Not a bit.
Well, perhaps your feelings may be different. All I know is it wouldn't feel very queer to me.
You. Who are you?
I think you ought to tell me who you are first.
Why?
Well, as you seem to be in a very unpleasant state of mind, I'll just leave you alone. Goodbye.
Come back. I have something important to say.
All right, what is it?
Keep your temper.
Is that all?
No. So you think you've changed, do you?
I'm afraid I am, sir. I can't remember things as I used to, and I don't keep the same size for 10 minutes together.
Can't remember what things?
Well, I've tried to say, how doth the little busy bee, but it all came out different.
Recite, you are old, Father William.
You are old, Father William.
You are old, Father William, the young man said.
And your hair has become very white. And yet you incessantly stand on your head. Do you think at your age that is right?
In my youth,
Father William replied to his son.
I feared it might injure the brain. But now that I'm perfectly sure I've none, why I do it again and again.
You are old,
Said the youth.
as I mentioned before, and have grown most uncommonly fat. Yet you turned a back somersault in at the door. Pray, what is the reason for that?
In my youth,
said the sage, as he shook his gray locks.
I kept all my limbs very supple. By the use of an ointment, 1 shilling the box. Allow me to sell you a couple.
You are old,
said the youth.
and your jaws are too weak for anything tougher than suet. Yet you finished the goose with the bones and the beak. Pray, how did you manage to do it?
In my youth,
said his father.
I took to the law and argued each case with my wife, and the muscular strength which it imbued in my jaw hath lasted the rest of my life.
You are old,
said the youth.
One would hardly suppose that your eye was as steady as ever. Yet you balanced an eel on the end of your nose. What made you so awfully clever?
I have answered 3 questions, and that is enough,
said his father.
Don't give yourself airs. Do you think I can listen all day to such stuff? Be off, or I'll kick you downstairs.
Well, that is not said right.
Not quite right, I'm afraid. Some of the words have got altered.
It is wrong from beginning to end. What size do you wish to be?
Oh, I'm not particular as to size, only one doesn't like changing so often, you know.
I don't know. Are you content now?
Well, I should be like a little larger. Sir, if you wouldn't mind, 3 inches is such a wretched height to be.
Oh, it is a very good height indeed.
But I'm not used to it. Oh, he must be just about 3 inches. I wish these creatures weren't so easily offended.
You'll get used to it in time. One side will make you grow taller, and the other side will make you grow shorter. Goodbye.
One side of what? The other side of what?
Of the mushroom.
The mushroom is perfectly round, So which side? Which side? I'll stretch out my arms and grab a bit with each hand and see what happens. Now, let's try the right side. My chin's hit my shoes. Other side, quick! My head's free at last. But now my shoulders are nowhere to be found. All I can see down there is an immense length of neck and tops of trees. Whoa! I can bend my neck in any direction. Even zigzag, almost like a... I'm not a serpent!
Serpent!
No, let me alone!
I've tried everything, and nothing seems to suit serpents!
I haven't the least idea what you're talking about.
I've tried the roots of trees, and I've tried riverbanks, and I've tried hedges, but those serpents, there's no pleasing them! As if I wasn't trouble enough, and I have to hatch these eggs, and I gotta be on the lookout for serpents day and night! Why, I haven't had a week of sleep for 3 weeks!
Oh, I'm very sorry you've been annoyed.
And just as I'd taken the highest tree in the wood, and just as I was thinking I was free of them at last, they come wiggling down from the sky! Ah! Serpent!
But I'm not a serpent, I tell you. I'm a...
Well, what are you? I can see you're trying to invent something.
I'm a little girl.
Likely story indeed. I've seen a good many little girls in my day, but never one with such a neck as that. No. You're a serpent. And there's no use denying it. I suppose you'll be telling me next time that you've never even tasted an egg.
I've tasted eggs, certainly, but little girls eat eggs just as much as serpents do, you know?
I don't believe it. But if they do, why then you're a kind of a serpent. That's all I can say. You're out looking for eggs. I know that well enough. And what does it matter to me whether you're a little girl or a serpent?
It matters a great deal to me, but I'm not looking for eggs as it happens, and if I was, I wouldn't want yours. I don't like them raw.
Well, then.
All right. All right. Let me just get my head down my hands. Ow! I keep getting twisted around branches. Oh! Ah! There. Now, let's just have a nibble of the right hand side. There. That's about my usual height. There's half my plan done. How puzzling all these changes are. I'm never sure what I'm going to be from 1 minute to another. The next thing is to get in that beautiful garden. Is how that to be done, I wonder? Oh, a little house. Looks like about 4 feet high or so. Whoever lives there, it'll never come upon them this size. I've frightened them out of their wits. Let's take a little nibble on the right-hand side. There, about 9 inches high, I should think. Better knock, I suppose.
There's no sort of use in knocking.
Oh, sorry. I didn't see you sitting on the ground. I quite like your powdered wig. I've never seen one on a frog before.
And that for 2 reasons. First, because I'm on the same side of the door as you are. Secondly, because they're making such a noise inside, no one could possibly hear you.
Please then, how am I to get in?
There might be some use in your knocking if we had the door between us. For instance, if you were inside, you might knock, and I could let you out, you know.
How am I to get in?
I shall sit here till tomorrow. Or next day, maybe.
How am I to get in?
Are you to get in at all? That's the first question, you know.
I suppose you're right. What's that you're holding?
What? Oh, an invitation for the Duchess to play croquet with the Queen.
Oh, is it a duchess that lives in there?
I shall sit here on and off for days and days and days and days and days.
Oh, there's no use in talking to him.
Close the door! You let flies in the kitchen! They'll get in the soup!
Achoo! There's certainly too much pepper in that soup. Your baby's sneezing too.
The cat doesn't seem to mind.
Would you please tell me why your cat grins like that?
It's a Cheshire cat, that's why. Pig!
Oh, well, I think your baby's lovely.
Then you don't know him.
I didn't know that Cheshire cats also always grinned. In fact, I didn't know that cats could grin.
They all can, and most of them do.
I don't know any of that.
You don't know much, and that's a fact.
Oh. Please, mind what you're doing. You almost hit your baby in the nose.
If everybody minded their own business, the world would go around a deal faster than to shut up!
Which would not be an advantage. Just think what would work with the... would make it work with the day and night. You see, the Earth takes 24 hours to turn around its axis.
Speaking of axes, someone chop off her head!
24 hours, I think, or is it 12?
Don't bother me! I could never abide figures. Ugh. Speak roughly to your little boy and beat him when he sneezes. He only does it to annoy because he knows it teases.
I don't think you're supposed to shake a baby like that.
Wow, 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 wow.
And I'm sure you're not supposed to toss him in the air like that.
I speak severely to my boy. I beat him when he sneezes, for he can thoroughly enjoy the pepper when he pleases. Wow, wow, wow! Wow, wow, wow! Here, you know some a bit if you like. Catch! I gotta go get ready to play croquet with the queen.
Stay still, will you? If I don't take this child with me, she's sure to kill it in a day or two. Wouldn't it be murder to leave it behind? Don't grunt. That's not a proper way of expressing yourself. If you're going to turn into a pig, my dear, I'll have nothing more to do with you. Well, now, there's no mistaking it. You're a pig. Neither more nor less. Might as well put you down. Goodbye. If it had grown up, it would have made a dreadfully ugly child. But it makes a rather handsome pig, I think. Oh, the Cheshire Cat. I didn't see him there a minute ago. Looks friendly enough, grinning like that. Though it has such long claws and so many teeth. Cheshire Puss. It's grinning wider. It must be pleased. Would you tell me, please, which way I ought to go from here?
Well, that depends a good deal on where you want to get to.
I don't much care where.
Then it doesn't matter which way you go.
So as long as I get somewhere.
You're sure to do that if you only walk long enough. You only walk long enough.
What sort of people live around here?
In that direction lives a hatter, and in that direction lives a March hare. Visit either you like, they're both mad.
But I don't want to go among mad people.
You can't help that. We're all mad here. I'm mad, you're mad.
How do you know I'm mad?
Well, you must be, or you wouldn't have come here.
And how do you know that you're mad?
To begin with, a dog's not mad, you grant that.
I suppose so.
Well, then you see, a dog growls when it's angry and wags its tail when it's pleased. Now, I'm growl when I'm pleased and wag my tail when I'm angry, therefore I'm mad.
I call it purring, not growling.
Call it what you like. Do you play croquet with the queen today?
I would like it very much, but I haven't been invited yet.
You'll see me there.
He vanished. Shouldn't be surprised, I suppose, given the amount of queer things happening. Oh,
and by the by, what became of the baby?
it turned into a pig.
I thought it would.
Vanished again. Think I'll visit the March hare. I've seen hatters before, so the March hare will be much more interesting. And perhaps this is May. It would be raving mad. At least not so mad as it was in March. Oh!
Did you say pig or fig?
I said pig. And I wish you wouldn't keep appearing and vanishing so suddenly. You're making me dizzy.
All right, I'll vanish very slowly this time, starting with my tail, I think.
Well, I've often seen a cat without a grin. But a grin without a cat? It's the most curious thing I ever saw in all my life.
And, ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to WSCA LP Portsmouth. We are now halfway through our presentation of Alice in Wonderland. Okay, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. that is our hyper-faithful interpretation of the first book. So you ain't going to get no Tweedledee and Tweedledum or any chess pieces in this one, okay?
This is a rediscovery.
So next we have our dear friend who has come in from the afterworld. And there are some fans outside, but I think they're mostly Grateful Dead fans, but I think there are some in there with Edgar! Edgar!
Clear a path.
Well, read the news, Edgar!
Keep to the perimeter.
Oh, Edgar!
We will use live ammunition.
I love
Edgar,
you!
sir, get in the building.
I love you!
Shut the door. Lock it.
Edgar! Edgar!
Can I do nothing?
Excuse me, Mr. Edgar. I'll be right back.
Can I do nothing in peace?
Everyone back away!
I'm carrying your clone!
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the 13 o'clock news. My name is Edgar.
Edgar!
And I'm here to bring you the facts. The other day, I grabbed myself a newspaper from a local shop in order to acquaint myself with the goings-on of the state of New Hampshire. It seems that Portsmouth, along with the rest of this American Commonwealth, is currently swept up in the process of electing a new president. In the running are several prominent figures who I'm sure you're all familiar with. I've never heard of any of these candidates before, but clearly they must be men of means, seeing as they all have rather fancy New World names I'd be foolish to try and pronounce. However, two icons in the world of modern American politics recently stepped back into the public eye by making appearances in the city of Portsmouth. Allow me to explain. Friday the 17th, the John Paul Jones was spotted in a phone booth outside the building of the Portsmouth Historical Society. Many of you may know this activist from his work during the Revolution a while back. Well, after a brief hiatus of a few centuries, he made his debut again in the 2019 season of The Bachelorette? Yes, The Bachelorette. And now apparently he has once again entered the world of politics by running for vice president. But who is his running mate, you may ask? Why, it is Daniel Fowle, of course. After paying his dues by spending hundreds of years working for numerous newspapers and printing companies over the years, Daniel Fowle has announced that he is running for presidency in the 2024 election. In an exclusive interview with the candidate, he said that his goals are to improve the human economy as well as his realm's environment and put lots of funding into the music and entertainment industries. Personally, I would like to say that Mr. Fowle has my vote. As a citizen of this land for several dozen centuries, it's clear that he has America's best interests at heart. He also assured me that he is an incredibly honest man who never tells a single lie, since he has no other choice. What else could you want in a leader? Well, that's all for today's news report. Whenever something interesting happens, I'll be sure to report on it. Maybe. I will also be providing semi-frequent updates on the presidential election until voting day, seeing as it's apparently important to our visitors. Stay safe, Portsmouth, if you can help it.
Thank you, Edgar! All right now, me hearties. Oh, we're on an epic journey right now, my friends, and we're doing our best here. Come on, I want to do It's a Wonderful Life with sound effects.
That's my mom's favorite movie.
Is that the one where the guy disappears? Like he was never born?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
And we all matter, and that's the lesson of that story.
Yes.
Aww. Gross.
All right now, ladies and gentlemen, we have got you halfway through this book, if you can believe it. We're doing the entire first book. It's called Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. And we're reading for you so much material, and we're just doing our absolute best to make it work. And I think there's just awesome pieces in here, and it's just great. And I want to thank again all my little shipmates here on our little journey that we're going through. And without any more interruptions or exasperations, let's go ahead and get to the March Hare's house, where they're going to have a little tea party here, and it's going to be great. So I present to you verse 2 of Alice's Adventures in Wonderland.
Ah, this must be the March Hare's house. Who else would have chimneys shaped like ears and a fur-thatched roof? The White Rabbit. He might, I suppose, but I've already seen his house. It's quite a big house. I'd better eat a bit of left side. There, about 2 feet high should do it. Suppose it should be raving mad after all. I almost wish I had gone to see the Hatter instead. But there he is, or at least I've never seen anyone wear that many hats at the same time, and each one for sale. Surely, that's the March Hare's hat he's sitting at tea with, unless there are many other tea-drinking hares in the area. And how 2 people can be using a dormouse for an elbow cushion, I don't know. But there it is. At least the dormouse seems to be asleep, so he doesn't mind. And what a large table he's sitting at. Why, it must be set for 12. It's nice that they have armchairs instead of those uncomfortable dining chairs. What a chore it must have been to get it outside under this tree.
No room! No room!
No room, no room!
But there's plenty of room.
Have some wine.
I don't see any wine.
There isn't any.
Then it wasn't very civil of you to offer it.
It wasn't very civil of you to sit down without being invited.
It's late for a great many more than 3.
Your hair wants cutting.
You should learn not to make personal remarks. It's very rude.
Why is a raven like a writing desk?
Oh, a riddle. I believe I can guess that.
Oh, do you mean that you think you can find out the answer to it?
Exactly so.
Oh, then you should say what you mean.
I do. At least I mean what I say. That's the same thing, you know.
Not the same thing a bit. You might as well just say that I see what I eat is the same thing as I eat what I see.
Yes, and you might just as well say I like what I get is the same thing as I get what I like.
You might as well just say that I breathe in my sleep is the same thing as I sleep when I breathe.
Well, it is the same thing with you. What day of the month is it?
The 4th.
2 days wrong. I told you butter wouldn't fix my watch.
It was the best butter.
Yes, but some crumbs must have gotten in it as well. You shouldn't have put it in there with a bread knife.
Here, let me see.
Do you think you should be dunking that in your tea like that?
It was the best butter, you know.
What a funny watch. It tells the day of the month, and it doesn't tell what o'clock it is.
Well, why should it? Does your watch tell you what year it is?
Of course not. But that's because it stays the same year for such a long time together.
Which is just the case with mine.
I don't quite understand you.
Oh, the dormouse has gone to sleep again.
You pour a little tea on his nose.
Of course. Just what I was going to remark myself.
So, have you guessed the riddle yet?
No, I give up. What's the answer?
I haven't the slightest idea.
Hat.
Paul... I only wish it was.
I think you might do something better with time than waste it asking riddles that have no answers.
If you knew time as well as I would, you would know. You wouldn't talk about wasting it. It's him.
I don't know what you mean.
Of course you don't. I dare say you've never even spoken to time.
Perhaps not, but I know I have to beat time when I learn music.
Ah! That accounts for it. He won't stand beating. Now you only kept on good terms with him. He'd do almost anything you liked with the clock. For instance, suppose it were 9 o'clock in the morning, just in time to begin classes. You'd only have to whisper a hint to time, and around goes the clock in a twinkling. 1:30, time for lunch.
Oh, I only wish it was.
That would be grand, certainly, but then I wouldn't be hungry for it.
Not at first, perhaps. That may be true. But you could keep it at 1:30 as long as you liked.
Is that the way you manage?
No, not I. We quarreled last March, you see, just before he went mad, you know. It was at the great concert given by the Queen of Hearts. I had to sing, "Twinkle, twinkle, little bat, how I wonder where you're at." You know the song, perhaps?
I've heard something like it.
It goes on, you know, in this way. Up above the world, so up above the world you fly, like a tea tray in the sky.
Twinkle, 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 twinkle.
Pinch him so he'll stop.
Right. Well, I'd hardly finished the verse when the Queen jumped up and bawled out, "He's murdering the time! Off with his head, off with his head!"
How dreadfully savage!
And ever since that, he won't do a thing I ask. It's always 6 o'clock now.
Is that the reason so many tea things are put out here?
Yes. Yes, that's exactly it. It's always tea time, and we've no time to wash the dishes between whiles.
And you keep moving around, I suppose?
Exactly so. You're starting to get it. As the things get used up.
But what happens when you come to the beginning again?
Suppose we change the subject. I'm getting tired of this. I vote the young lady tells us a story. Yes.
I'm afraid I don't know one.
Then the Dormouse shall. Wake up, Dormouse!
Yes, wake up.
Pinch him.
Right.
I wasn't asleep. I heard every word you fellows were saying.
Good. So tell us a story.
Yes, please do.
And be quick about it, or you'll be asleep before it's done.
Okay. Once upon a time, there were 3 sisters, and their names were Elise, Lacey, and Tilly, and they lived at the bottom of a well.
What did they live on?
They lived on a treacle.
They couldn't have done that, you know. They'd all have been ill.
So they were very ill.
But why did they live at the bottom of a well?
Here, take some more tea.
I've had nothing yet, so I can't take more.
Huh, you mean you can't take less? It's very easy to take more than nothing.
Nobody asked your opinion.
Ah, who's making personal remarks now?
Why did they live at the bottom of the well?
It was a treacle well.
There's no such thing.
If you can't beat civil, you'd better finish the story for yourself.
No, please go on. I won't interrupt again. I dare say there may have been one treacle well.
One indeed. And so the 3 little sisters, they were learning to draw, you know.
What did they draw?
Treacle.
I want a clean cup. Let's all move one place on, please.
The Hatter's the only one who got any advantage from the change, and I'm worse off. As the March Hare just spilled the milk jug into his plate. But I don't understand. Where did they draw the treacle from?
Well, you can draw wet water from a water well, so I should think you can draw a treacle from a treacle well. Hey, stupid!
But they were in the well.
Of course they were well in. They were learning to draw, and they drew all manners of things. Everything that begins with an M.
Why with an M?
Why not? He's gone off into a doze. You give him a pinch again.
Yes.
That begins with an M, such as the mouse traps and the moon and memory and muchness. You know, you say things like much of a muchness. Did you ever see such a thing as a drawing of a muchness?
Really? Now you ask me. I don't think.
Well, then you shouldn't talk.
That's as much as I can stand. It's no use in calling me back there.
Let's put the dormouse into the teapot.
At any rate, I'll never go there again. It's the stupidest tea party I've ever had in my life. Wait a minute. That tree was a door in it. That's very curious. But everything is curious today. I think I may as well go in at once. It's the same hall of doors I started in. And there's the same glass table with the little key. I'll manage better this time. First, I'll unlock the door. And now, a bit of mushroom. There, now through the door, and finally, I'm in the garden. It's so beautiful. What a lovely white rose bush. But why are the gardeners painting them red? And why do they all look like playing cards?
Look out now, 5. Don't go splashing paint on me.
I couldn't help it. 7 jogged my elbow.
Oh, that's right. Always blaming 7 on it.
You'd better not talk. I heard the Queen say only yesterday you deserve to be beheaded.
What for?
That's none of your business, too.
Yes, it is his business, and I'll tell him. It was for bringing the cooked tulip bulbs instead of onions.
Wow, you know what? I'll just think. Oh, good day, my lady.
Good day, my lady.
Well, that's very kind of you, but you really needn't bow so low like that. But would you please tell me, why are you painting those roses red?
Well, the fact is, you see, miss, this here ought to have been a red rose tree, and we put a white one in by mistake. Oh, and if the Queen was to find out, we should all have our heads cut off, you know. So you see, miss, we're doing our best before she comes to...
The Queen! The Queen!
Quick on your faces!
King and Queen of Hearts!
It's the White Rabbit. I wonder if I should lie down on my face, too.
Procession! A halt! What is your name, child?
My name is Alice, so please, Your Majesty.
And who are these?
How should I know? It's no business of mine.
Off with her head! Off with her head!
Consider, my dear, she's only a child.
That must be the king.
My child, can you play croquet?
Yes!
Come on, then. Procession forward!
It's a very fine day, Marianne.
Oh, hello, Mr. Rabbit. Yes, a very fine day. Where's the Duchess?
Shh. She's under sentence of execution.
What for?
Did you say what a pity?
No, I didn't. I don't think it's at all a pity, I said. I said, what for?
She boxed the Queen's ears. Shh, the Queen will hear you and she will come. And she came rather late and you came rather late and the Queen said...
Get to your places!
You better get yourself a flamingo and a hedgehog. Hurry now!
I suppose the hedgehog is meant to be the ball and the flamingo the mallet. Oh, and the arches are the lesser cards bent over backwards. All right. Let's give this a... Oh! Cooperate, will you? Obstinate flamingo. And you, hedgehog, stay curled up now. Hey! Come on! Come back here!
I say there, child, get that flamingo under control, or it'll be off with your head!
Yes, Your Majesty.
You there! What are you doing with that hedgehog? Off with his head! Off with his head, too! Off with their heads!
They're dreadfully fond of beheading people here. The great wonder is that there's anyone left alive. Oh, it's the Cheshire Cat, or the Cheshire Cat's head, anyway. Now, at least I'll have someone to talk to.
Yeah, how are you getting on?
I don't think they play fairly at all. And they quarrel so dreadfully you can't even hear yourself think. Plus, they don't seem to have any rules in particular. At least, if there are, nobody attends to them. And you have no idea how confusing it is to have all the things being alive. For instance, there's the arch. I've got to go through the next walking around at the other end of the field. And I should have croqueted the Queen's hedgehog just now, only it ran away when I saw mine coming.
How do you like the Queen?
Not at all. She's so extremely likely to win that it's hardly worthwhile finishing the game.
Who are you talking to?
A friend of mine, Your Majesty, a Cheshire Cat. Allow me to introduce it.
I don't like the look of it at all. Floating heads are one thing and grinning cats are another. However, it may kiss my hand if it likes.
I'd rather not.
Don't be impertinent. And don't look at me like that.
A cat may look at a king. I've read that in some book, but I don't remember where.
Well, it must be removed, my dear. I wish you would have this cat removed.
Oh, with his head!
I'll fetch the executioner myself. Executioner! Executioner!
Oh, yes, Your Highness.
Execute this Cheshire Cat immediately, by order of the king.
What? The floating head?
Yes, the floating, grinning cat's head, right there.
He can't cut a head off unless there's a body to cut it off of, Your Highness.
Nonsense. Anything with a head can be beheaded.
Well, I've never had to do such a thing before, and respectfully, sir, I ain't gonna begin it this time in my life. Well, if something isn't done about it in less than no time, I'll have everybody executed all round!
It belongs to the Duchess, Your Majesty. You'd better ask her about it.
She's in prison! Go fetch her! Yes, Your Majesty.
I'm going to.
Just don't let my head, you know.
I think I'll be off before they all return.
And there he goes. Goodbye, Cheshire Cat.
Ridiculous! Now, everyone, back to the game, or it's off with your heads!
The Duchess! The Duchess!
Hello, Your Grace.
Oh, hello, my dear. You can't think how glad I am to see you again, you dear old thing.
Where's he gone?
Where's who gone?
The cat! The Cheshire Cat! Your Cheshire Cat!
Oh, I'm sure I don't know. Come, my dear, give me your arm and let's have a walk, shall we?
I'm glad she's in a better mood. Perhaps it was only the pepper that made her so savage when we met in the kitchen. When I'm a duchess, I won't have any pepper in my kitchen at all. Soup is fine without it. Maybe it's always pepper that makes people hot-tempered. And vinegar makes them sour. And chamomile makes them bitter. And barley, sugar, and such things that make children sweet-tempered. I only wish people knew that so they wouldn't be so stingy about sweets.
You're thinking about something, my dear, and that makes you forget to talk. I can tell you just now what the moral of that is, but I shall remember in a bit.
Perhaps it doesn't have one.
Child, everything's got a moral, if only you can find it.
I don't much like being this close to her. She keeps digging her chin into my shoulder. And it's such an uncomfortably sharp chin. The game's going on rather better now.
'Tis so, and the moral of that is, oh, 'tis love that makes the world go round.
Somebody said that it's done by everybody minding their own business.
Ha! Well, it seems much the same thing. And the moral of that is, take care of the scents, and the sounds will take care of themselves.
How fond she is of finding morals to things.
I dare say you're wondering why I don't put my arm around your waist. And the reason is that I'm doubtful about the temper of your flamingo. Shall we try the experiment?
He might bite.
Very true. Flamingos and mustard both bite. And the moral of that is, birds of a feather flock together.
Only mustard isn't a bird.
Oh, right as usual. What a clear way you have of putting things.
It's a mineral, I think.
Oh, of course it is. There's a large mustard mine near here. And the moral of that is, the more there is of mine, the less there is of yours.
Oh, I know. It's a vegetable. It doesn't look like that one. It doesn't look like one, but it is.
I quite agree with you, and the moral of that is, be what you would seem to be, or if you'd like to put it more simply, never imagine yourself not to be otherwise than what it might appear to others that what you were or might have been was not otherwise than what you had been would have appeared to them to be otherwise.
Oh, I think I would understand that better if I had it written down. But I can't quite follow it as you say it.
That's nothing to what I could say if I chose.
Oh, please don't trouble yourself to say it any longer than that.
Oh, don't talk about trouble. I make you a present of everything I've said as of yet.
A cheap present. I'm glad they don't give birthday presents like that.
Thinking again, dear?
I have a right to think.
Just about as much as pigs have a right to fly. And the...
Dutchie, I'll give you fair warning. Either you or your head must be off, and that in half no time. Take your choice. I've never seen someone leave so quickly. My child, have you seen the mock turtle yet?
No, I don't even know what a mock turtle is.
It's the thing mock turtle soup is made from.
I never saw one or heard of one.
Come on then, and she shall tell you his history. You, Griffin, you wake-up lazy thing.
If you don't know what a griffin is, find a picture of one and look at it.
Take this young lady to see the mock turtle and hear his history. I must go back and see to some executions I ordered. You, off with your head. Your head's down.
What fun.
What is the fun?
Why, she. It's all her fancy, that. They never execute nobody, you know. Come on. Ah, there he is. The mock turtle.
What is his sorrow?
Oh, it's all his fancy, that. He hasn't got no sorrow, you know. Come on. Turtle, this here young lady, she wants for to know your history, she do.
I'll tell her. Sit down, both of you, and don't speak a word until I've finished. Once, I was a real turtle.
Well, thank you so much for that interesting...
When we were little, we went to school in the sea. The master was an old turtle. We used to call him Tortoise.
Why did you call him Tortoise if he wasn't one?
We called him Tortoise because he taught us. He had the best of educations. reeling and writhing, of course, to begin with. The different branches of arithmetic. Ambition, distraction, uglification, and derision.
I never heard of uglification. What is it?
What? Never heard of uglifying? You know what to beautify is, I suppose.
Yes, it means to make anything prettier.
Well then, if you don't know what to uglify is, you are a simpleton.
What else did you learn?
Well, there was mystery, ancient and modern, of course, geography, and then drawing. The drawing master was an old eel that used to come see us once a week. He taught us drawing, stretching, and fainting in coils.
Oh, what was that like?
Well, I can't show it to you myself. I'm too stiff. And the griffin never learnt it.
That in time, I was learning laughing in grief, wasn't I?
And how many hours a day did you do lessons?
10 hours the first day, 9 the next, and so on.
What a curious plan.
Well, that's the reason they're called lessons, because they lessen from day to day.
The 11th day must have been a holiday.
Well, of course it was.
And how did you manage on the 12th?
Well, that's enough about lessons. Tell us something about the games now, Turtle. Same as if he had a bone in his throat. Come on, man. Come on. There it is.
You may not have lived much under the sea.
I haven't.
And perhaps you were never introduced to a lobster.
I once tasted... No, I haven't, actually.
Well, then you can have no idea what a delightful thing the lobster quadrille is.
No, indeed. What sort of dance is it?
Oh, well, first you form a line along the seashore.
Two lines. Seals, turtles, salmon, and so on. And then when you've cleared all the jellyfish out of the way...
That generally takes some time.
You advance twice.
Each with a lobster as a partner.
Of course. Advance twice, set to partners.
Then change lobsters, then retire in the same
and
order.
And then you throw
the lobsters
yes. out to sea as far as you can.
And swim after them, don't you?
Turn a somersault to the sea.
And you change lobsters again, and then
back to land again, and that's the first figure.
It must be a very pretty dance.
Would you like to see a little bit of it?
Oh, yes, please.
Come on, Griffin, let's try the first figure. We could do without the lobsters, you know. Do you remember the words?
Oh, you sing. I've forgotten them all.
Oh, all right. Well, here, I'll try a little something on my tortoise shell.
Okay.
Will you walk a little faster? Said the whiting to the snail. There's a porpoise close behind us, and he's treading on my tail. See how eagerly the lobsters and the turtles all advance. They are waiting on a shingle. Will you come and join the dance?
Will you, won't you, will you, won't you, will you join the dance? Will you, won't you, will you, won't you, won't you join the dance?
You can really have no notion how delightful it will be when they take us out and throw us with the lobsters out to sea. But the snail replied too far, and gave a look askance. He thanked the whiting kindly, but he could not join the dance.
Would not, could not join the dance. Would not, could not join the dance.
What matters it how far we go? His scaly friend replied. There is another shore, you know, upon the other side. The further off from England, the nearer is to France. Then turn not pale, beloved snail, but come and join the dance.
Oh, will you, won't you, will you, won't you, will you join the dance? Will you, won't you, will you, won't you, won't you join the dance?
Wow! Thank you.
There.
Bravo! It's a very interesting dance to watch.
It's a good show, old boy. Now, let's hear some of your adventures.
I could tell you my adventures beginning from this morning, but there's no use going back to yesterday because I was a different person then.
explain all that.
No. Adventures first. Explanations take such a dreadful time.
Well, it all started this morning when I saw a white rabbit with a waistcoat and a pocket watch.
That's all very curious.
About as curious as could be.
It's by far the most confusing thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, confusing. I think you better leave off. Shall we try another figure of the lobster quadrille, or would you like the mock turtle to sing you a song?
Oh, a song, please! If the mock turtle would be so kind.
No accounting for taste. Sing her turtle soup, won't you, old fellow?
Oh, I couldn't. I really just couldn't.
Oh, get over yourself.
Beautiful soup, so rich and green, waiting in a hot tureen. Oh, for such dainties would not stoop. Beautiful soup of the evening, beautiful soup. Soup of the evening, beautiful soup. Beautiful soup, beautiful soup. Soup of the evening, beautiful, beautiful soup. Beautiful soup. Who cares for fish or game or any other dish? Who would not give all for two? Any worth only a beautiful soup. Penny worth only a beautiful soup. Beautiful soup, beautiful soup. Soup of the evening, beautiful, beautiful soup. Oh, beautiful soup, beautiful soup. Soup of the evening, beautiful, beautiful soup.
Oh, yeah, right. One more time. Chorus again.
Beautiful soup, beautiful.
Oh, the trial's beginning. Come on. Let's go. Let's get after it.
Soup of the evening.
Not enough
What
time for
trial
that.
is it?
Come on.
Beautiful soup.
The King and Queen of Hearts were seated on their throne when Alice and the Griffin arrived, with a great crowd assembled about them. All sorts of little birds and beasts, as well as the whole pack of cards. The judge was the king, and he wore his crown over his great wig, which did not look comfortable at all.
And that's the jury box. And those 12 preachers must be the jury. What are they doing? They can't believe it. They can't have anything to put down on their slates yet. The trial hasn't begun.
Oh, they're putting down their names for fear they should forget them before the end of the trial.
It's the White Rabbit. Hello?
You know, it's not much. The white rabbit's
Silence in the court! Harold, read the announcement. The Queen of Hearts, she made some tarts, all on a summer's day. And the Knave of Hearts, he stole those tarts and took them quite away. Consider your verdict. Not yet, not yet. There's a great deal to come before that. Call the first witness. First witness, the Hatter.
I beg your pardon, Your Majesty, but I hadn't quite finished my tea when I was sent for.
You ought to have finished. When did you begin?
14th of March, I think it was.
15th.
16th.
Write that down. Take off your hat.
Well, it isn't mine.
Stolen!
I keep them to sell. I'm a hatter.
A hatter?
Oh, sorry.
Give your evidence. Don't be nervous or I'll have you executed on the spot.
Oh.
I wish you wouldn't squeeze so. I can hardly breathe.
I can't help it. I'm growing.
You have no right to grow here.
Don't talk nonsense. You know you're growing too.
Yes, but I grow at a reasonable pace, not in that ridiculous fashion.
Bring me a list of the singers at the last concert.
Give your evidence or I'll have you executed whether you're nervous or not.
I'm a poor man, Your Majesty. I hadn't begun my tea not above a week or so. And what were the bread and butter getting so thin in the twinkling of the tea?
Twinkling of the what?
It began with the tea.
Of course, twinkling begins with a T. Do you take me for a dunce? Go on.
I'm a poor man, and most things twinkled after that. Only the March hare said...
I didn't!
You did!
I deny it. He denies it. Leave out that part.
Well, at any rate, the dormouse said... And after that, I cut some more bread and butter and...
But what did the dormouse say?
That's an excellent question. I cannot remember.
You must remember, I'll have you executed.
I am a poor man, Your Majesty. A poor man.
If that's all you know about it, you may go.
And just take his head off outside, will you?
Call the next witness. Really, my dear, you must cross-examine the next witness. It really makes my forehead ache.
Very well. Herald, who is the next witness?
Yes, Your Majesty. I mean, Alice.
Quack, quack.
Alice.
Here. Oh, excuse me.
Oh, get out of
Beg your pardon.
Big, she's so big.
What do you know about this business?
Nothing.
Nothing whatever.
Nothing whatever.
That's very important. Unimportant. Of course I meant important, unimportant, important. Silence! Rule 42. All persons more than a mile high must leave the court.
I'm not a mile high.
You are.
Nearly 2 miles high.
Well, I won't go at any rate. Besides, that's not a regular rule. You invented it just now.
It's the oldest rule in the book.
Then it ought to be number 1.
Consider your verdict.
No, sentence first, verdict afterwards.
Stuff and nonsense. The idea of having the sentence first.
Hold your tongue, big girl.
I won't.
Off with the head! Off with the head! Off with the head!
Who cares for you? You're nothing but a pack of cards.
Off with her!
Wake up, Alice, dear.
Oh, sis. I've had such a curious dream.
Alice closed her eyes again and half believed herself back in Wonderland, though she knew she had to open them again, and all would change back to dull reality. And now the tale of Wonderland is done. In fancy we've pursued the dream child moving through a land of wonders wild and new. And now beneath the setting sun to home we steer, a merry crew.
Woo! We did it. We are all crossing the finish line now, totally drained and exhausted, as we should be, for it is just before Christmas, and this here group may not all be together again for another many months. There will be one person missing or another, And I just thought we should do this while we are all together because it's just so great and there's just so
Because
much
it
love.
has so many parts.
Yes, that is true, yes. And I wouldn't want to leave anyone out now, would I?
Oh, would I?